We are standing here with Debbie at the Volcano General Store.
Hi, Shasta.
Hello.
Hey, Andrew.
Hi. So tell us a little bit about the place.
The Volcano Country Store has been in business for 163 years, since 1852. It was built as a store, opened as a store. It has always been a store, and it has never, ever closed its doors.
And how long have you been with the store and working
I've been
here?
running the store for 4 years, but it's the longest continuous running store in the state of California, which is a claim to fame, that is not really announced often enough, and that's as much my fault as anybody's. But and part of the reason behind that is because of the construction of this building. If you look at the ceiling, and if you think about the way houses are built today, you would build a house with a ceiling that has 2x4s on 3-foot centers. These are 3x15-inch beams on 2-foot centers and cross-hatched in 2 places. That means that it's carrying a huge load. There's 18 inches of dirt, 1.5 feet of dirt above that ceiling right now. And the reason is because fires, just like in housing developments, jump from rooftop to rooftop. But, and in 1852, your fire crew, your protection, would have been 35, 40 people shoulder to shoulder passing a bucket of water. Well, you're not going to put out a building with that kind of protection. So, they made it strong. They made it, dirt doesn't burn. You're going to lose your roof, it'll get down to the dirt, and then it'll start licking around the outside of the building. But if you look at the construction,
That's extremely smart.
rock, brick, iron, brick, all the way down. Fire can't get in. There's no way for the fire to get in. So the St. George, on the other hand, I think you're going to head down that direction. It's been rebuilt 3 times because it's burnt down. So they invested a lot of money in building the store, but if you lose your store in a little town like this in the 1850s, you've lost your whole town. You have no place to get your goods. So
I have a little question just about Volcano in general. I've heard a few times that when California was trying to come up with a capital, they were going to choose Volcano. Okay.
One of the top 5, and I'm so glad that didn't happen because
It would have been so much different.
a lot of things would have changed. You look at the cities that did become capitals even early on in the 1800s. San Jose was one of them. Monterey was another one, and they're very different places. People came for different reasons, and a lot of the history didn't get preserved. So.
Well, Volcano has so much history, and you can tell just by looking down Main Street that it still looks almost the same and still has all that history. So why don't you show us around the general store a bit? Okay.
That would be great.
I'm going to go turn off the player piano. I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good. You guys can come in.
The Volcano Country Store is a combination of things that have been collected over the last 100 years and things that are for sale today. So it's a nice, we try to keep things here that are everyday needs. And we have our local wine rack. Right now, a lot of Bianchini and Sierra View are in our selections. And then what you'll see on Memorabilia is all of the top 2 to 3 shelves are all things that have been collected here at the store. I wish I knew more about bottles. My hope is to get everything digitally cataloged and then be able to get some people to that are knowledgeable to at least explain it to me or put some values on it. And then the things down below, the bottom 2 shelves in almost all the way around, are things that are for sale. So we not only have local jewelry, we try to keep a good collection of things from local artists and local people. We have local Amador local olive oil, local jewelry from the manager at the Black Chasm Caverns, and then gift items and some memorabilia, bumper stickers and patches that you can put on your hats. But we also have canned soup and vegetables and beans, and over here we have rice and pasta and pickles and, everyday stuff. On the back side over there we have all the baked goods. We have, baking powder and flour and sugar and all the staples that you would need. So to keep people from having to drive all the way to Jackson, just try to provide a service for our local people.
Volcano's a very small town, and I can tell this is probably the kind of place where someone would come in the door and you'd greet them by name and they'd know you and you'd have their order ready. So is it that kind of town?
Very much so. Very, you know, certainly all of the locals are in and out of here all the time, and a lot of people from Pine Grove and up on Shake Ridge. My hope eventually is to create some kind of internet grocery, because I know we have a lot of older people that are not necessarily shut-ins, but when the ice starts hitting the road, they're not going to get in their cars, and they still need stuff. So maybe by this winter I'll be able to put together a internet grocery where they can just type in what they need, and we'll take their credit card over the internet. And
that would be great,
wouldn't it? And then
we'll drive it. She's needed,
and
for
we'll
sure.
drive it out to them. Yeah. So one of the another memorabilia, our beer collection here, our empty. My dear friend Mr. Stanish will tell you that the United States government and the citizens of America help pay for this collection. It goes here, and then it's already all the way over here also.
Wow.
He was in the Navy, and so what he did was every time they ported, he would buy a beer and then put the empty in his duffel bag and brought it home. So it's kind of a fun thing. A lot of people come and enjoy that. We have a U.S. mail sign. I think at one time probably this was a post office. But if there's a fun part about this whole section, it's probably the safe. It's the one thing that probably can't be moved in this store. I'm afraid that the weight of it, I think if you moved it off the planks it's on, it might just crash through the bottom of the floor.
Oh, man.
It's just very, very heavy, but keeps our money safe overnight. Yeah. So we also, you know, memorabilia like the old cigarette machine. Of course, I don't remember this being behind the local gas station and cigarettes were 35 cents a pack and nobody watched you buy them. I don't remember that. But I hear from people that that's the way it used to be. This is an original deli case.
Oh.
Back from the Poggio days. Yeah, which is kind of neat. Pete Poggio from Jackson comes in. His dad, Ernie, used to own this. Trying to get a light on. Yeah, so it's there. I believe originally there used to be 2 cases like this, and now we're down to 1. So I was asking Pete if there were any pictures inside the store, and he says, well, no, maybe an ad of my dad leaning on the deli case, but pictures inside? I said, yeah, because I want to recreate some of the things like it was, you know, 50 years ago, 100 years ago. He says, Debbie, you ever have a job? I go, yeah. He goes, how many pictures of the inside of your job do you have? I had to stop and realize I don't have any pictures of the places I've worked. So he kind of got me there. He had no idea at the time this would be like such a historic thing. So in our deli case we keep all of our fresh meat. All of our meat comes from the Amador Meat Company. We slice it right here on our slicer for every sandwich that we make. And then let me show you the grill around the corner. And I hope you guys will join me for a sandwich tonight.
That would be great.
Get out of Volcano, come back, and it's on the house. We would love to. Kid, this bar actually was in a different location over there in an L shape, but it is the original bar. The flooring, 163 years. Thank you, Michael. 163 years old. The flooring, every year at Thanksgiving, I get shingle oil and a mop that I can throw away, and I mop the whole place with shingle oil, and that's the only treatment this wood has ever had, which is kind of nice. Watch your step. Coldest walk-in the county. You will not find colder beer anywhere than right here at the Volcano Country Store, and that's a promise. You can ask any of my guys out on that front bench. They will tell you that the beer is cold. So here we have an open flame grill, and lots of people mistake it for a pizza oven, but
I would.
yeah, when you first look at it. But pizza has to cook at like 450, 500 degrees, and it would be tough to get this up to that temperature. We'd have to put doors on it and lots of other things. But we use it as an indoor barbecue, so it's very, very special. We do hamburgers and hot dogs and chicken and bratwurst and steaks, and right there, bacon cheeseburger right off that grill. Best thing you would ever taste. It's a healthier sandwich too, versus putting ground meat on a flat piece of steel and frying it in its own grease. It's a much healthier sandwich. So I think you'll be enjoying that a little bit later when when you get through with your work here. Yeah.
Sounds
Well,
awesome.
Thank you for showing us around. Looks like a wonderful place. So if you're ever visiting Volcano, be sure to stop by and say hi to Debbie and maybe get something to eat.